no money on my mind. Tell my mommy I'm alright. Even laughing at the tricks you tell me. Keep myself inside the lies, needing tidy all the time. If you ask me, I am fine. Got no money on my mind. Eating patterns like the apples. Meditation.
And here for the third step, we're going to talk about getting out of debt. This is where the true debt freedom really happens. And there's a couple different strategies out there. Earlier we talked about life insurance, how there's two different types of life insurance. You got the whole life and you have the term life. Well, with debt payment strategies, typically debt freedom, there's two different arguments, two types out there. You have the debt stacking model and you have the debt snowball. And which one is mathematically correct? Well, the debt stacking is, but there is arguments on the debt snowball, and I've used the debt snowball in the past and it's highly effective. So let's go ahead and talk about each one and why they're different. So the first one, debt stacking. Debt stacking is basically taking all your bills and then organizing it from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. Because obviously you want to tackle the one with the highest interest rate being added, because if you can pay off that debt faster, you're not being charged as much interest. Okay, so you can tackle that debt out as fast as you can, while these other debts you're paying the required minimum payments. That way it doesn't impact your credit score. Okay, and what you're going to notice is mathematically that balance is going to shrink and get paid off significantly faster. So if that's the case, how come everybody doesn't do it? Well, it's a great question. It's a question I had as well, because even going through college, they sat there and told me that this is mathematically correct. You have to do it this way to pay off the debt. Problem is human behavior. We have a psychology when it comes to money that we're not robots. We have different personalities, we have different financial situations that is going on, and so that method doesn't work for everybody. Secondly, there's also an income problem. Now, if you're paying off the highest interest rate, maybe somebody doesn't have the additional income to help make these minimum payments, and that's where the real struggle comes into play. And that's where the debt snowball comes into play. And so you got to look at your financial situation and determine which one is better for you. So with the debt snowball, what you're going to do is, rather than taking it from the highest interest rate to the lowest, you're going to flip it. What you're going to do is take the highest balance to the lowest balance, and then we're going to flip that. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus on the lowest balance first. Okay, pay that off as fast as you can. Okay, and then you're making required payments on the other debts. Now, yes, one of these debts may have a higher interest rate than this one up here, but what that's going to do is that's going to free up some additional income, because let's say you have $200 left on this debt. You can probably knock that out in a week. Well, now the payments that you were paying on this debt, you can start tackling onto the second debt. Okay, and these other ones, you're still making the required minimum payments. And so what you're going to find is psychologically and financially, you're going to be able to pay that debt off just as fast, if not faster, because it's going to free up some additional income along the way. I have some additional tips. If you go to dollarauto.com and then you select on the education tab, there's one called Pay Off Debt, Even Debt Freedom, and we're going to walk you through the steps, process by process, so you can see how simple it is. Like I said, I've used them in the past, and it's highly effective, and I highly encourage you, because the key here is you're setting a roadmap. You're setting a financial roadmap of getting out of debt. And that's a problem with a lot of people when they can't pay off their debt, is because they don't have a plan in place. So if you don't have a plan in place, how do you expect to get out of debt? So ask yourself right now, how soon can I get out of debt? Odds are you probably don't know, because the banks are telling you when to get out of debt. Well, the car payment says I'll have it paid off in 2 years. Okay, that's the bank's plan, but what is your plan? Can you pay that off maybe in 18 months? I bet you could if you tried. So let's go ahead and dive into the next video.